The day we looked up. The stars had always been beautiful. That was the first thing Captain Elias Grant thought as he stepped out of the airlock of the ISS Horizon. He'd spent years orbiting Earth, but on this night, this quiet night when the station floated like a silver feather against the black canvas of space, the stars looked alive. Not twinkling, not distant. Alive! Telemetry stable, said Commander Aisha Rahman through the comms. Elias, suit integrity's good. I'm reading oxygen at 100%. Copy that, Elias said, adjusting the small light attached to his helmet. I'll make it quick. He didn't make it quick, because he wasn't the only thing out there. The first sign came as a pulse, a soft blue shimmer like someone had painted a streak of lightning across the void. Then came the hum, not through his ears but inside his skull, like a whisper pushing gently against the back of his mind. Elias froze. Control. Are you seeing this? Silence. Control. The blue shimmer expanded, warping the starlight behind it. Then, without sound, the shimmer tore itself open. A shape emerged, a ship, smooth, black, with glowing silver veins. No engines, no windows. It drifted like a shark in deep water, effortlessly cutting through the void. Inside the control module, Aisha whispered, "Oh my God." It was the first contact. Humanity had always imagined aliens arriving with noise and spectacle. But the ship did nothing. It hovered, silent, watching. For 13 minutes, nothing happened. Then a voice, not from a speaker, not from the radio, from their heads. "We are the Kethari. Do not fear." The voice was calm, soft, ancient. Elias swallowed. "This is Captain Elias Grant of the International Space Station Horizon." What are you?" "You call yourselves humans," the Kethari said. "You have grown loud. We have watched you climb from fire to the sky. You are not what we expected." Government scrambled. The world awoke. Every telescope on Earth locked onto the ship as news anchors shouted words like contact, historic, first encounter. But for 3 days, the Kethari did nothing except watch. Then they spoke again. "Humanity. We wish to test your strength. A global council was formed. Scientists, generals, philosophers. They argued. Some wanted to hide. Some wanted to strike. But humanity had never been good at silence. Elias was chosen as the envoy. When his shuttle docked with the Kethari vessel, he expected cold metal and sharp edges. Instead, the inside was warm, almost alive. The walls pulsed faintly, as if breathing. A figure emerged, tall, thin. Its skin shimmered like starlight on water. Its face was featureless except for 2 glowing eyes. "You have come?" the alien said. "I represent Earth," Elias replied. "Why are you here?" "We seek the apex." It was Aisha who understood first. They weren't asking for a leader. They were asking for the strongest. Not physically, not politically, but spiritually. A species' apex wasn't their most powerful individual. It was the one who embodied their will to survive. Elias wasn't chosen for his rank. He was chosen because, years ago when a lunar mission went wrong, he'd refused to leave a dying crewmate behind. The Kethari ship wasn't moving through space. It was folding it. In less than an hour, they were no longer in orbit. They were in the Kethari arena, an artificial sphere orbiting a dead star. Hundreds of other species were there, dozens of ships like theirs. This wasn't first contact. This was a tournament. The Kethari had done this before. Elias stared at the other species, towering reptilian hunters, crystalline beings who moved like liquid glass, creatures with 4 arms and razor teeth. And humans were supposed to compete with that? The rules were simple. Each species would face a trial, not a war, not brute force, a test of survival. When humanity's turn came, the arena dissolved into a storm, a world of shifting sand, boiling skies, and winds strong enough to tear metal. Elias wasn't alone. The Kethari had taken 100 humans, soldiers, scientists, children, elders. The apex was not one man. It was all of them. Aisha grabbed his arm as the wind howled. "What do we do, Captain?" Elias stared at the sky. The trial wasn't about strength. It was about unity. The reptilians had fought and devoured each other during their turn. The crystalline species had shattered under their own weight. The insectoids had fled, but humans adapted. First rule, Elias shouted. No one gets left behind. They built shelter from the broken pieces of the arena. They organized in minutes. Medics tended to the injured. Engineers rigged a solar shield out of reflective debris. Soldiers set up perimeters, but they didn't fight each other. They cooperated. The storm grew worse. The sand turned into shards of glass. People screamed. But they didn't break. They formed human chains. They moved as one, and then the trial escalated. From the sky descended a beast. Part storm, part machine, its wings spanning half the horizon. It roared like thunder and dove. Elias didn't flinch. Bring it down, he said. Humanity didn't have plasma rifles or alien claws. They had fire, wire, and grit. Soldiers baited the creature toward the ridge, while engineers overloaded a makeshift energy trap. When the beast struck, it hit the trap and exploded into light. The Kethari watched from above. The humans stood together. Not one had been left behind. The arena fell silent. Then the Kethari voice returned. You have done what others could not. Elias wiped the blood from his cheek. That's what humans do. After the trials, the Kethari revealed their purpose. They were old, ancient. Once they had sought to conquer. Now they sought to choose successors, species worthy to inherit the stars. They had tested thousands. None had passed. Until now. Humanity, the Kethari said. You are apex. The world changed overnight. Earth was no longer alone. Humanity was no longer a child staring at the stars. We had been noticed, not for our weapons, not for our brilliance, for our refusal to break. Elias returned home to cheers, but he knew the truth. Humanity's greatest strength wasn't him. It wasn't the soldiers or scientists. It was the billions of stubborn, brilliant, infuriating, compassionate people who built bridges instead of walls. The stars weren't watching us anymore. They were waiting, and we were ready. Years later, a child asked Elias, "Were you scared that day?" He smiled. "Of course. Everyone was scared. Then how did you win?" Elias looked up at the night sky. The stars were no longer distant. They were ours now, because, he said, humans don't win alone. We win together. The wind rustled the trees as the child stared upward, eyes wide with wonder. Somewhere out there, the Kethari watched, and they smiled too.